Hey everyone, it's Nerd Views, and welcome to my review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is an alright standalone comedic, tween and teen themed film that has pacing, character, narrative, and design issues that may or may not please TMNT fans. The rest of this in-depth review is spoiler-filled, along with some plot points of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and the 1987 TMNT TV series. Since I've been into TMNT, I do have to knock off some points off of the review based on my preferred interpretations, but I'm also reviewing and covering this movie as a filmgoer as well. Before I get into this review, I have to state that I am aware that this is a brand new iteration of the TMNT based on the art style and designs of the movie, especially in the trailers. Initially, I wasn't a fan of the first trailer, but the second one got me more interested by the way it was put together. And then the behind-the-scenes videos debuted. The clips of the movie debuted. The turtles are in Target. They have food, collectibles, action figures, action toys, books. Got it, you're promoting the movie. They partnered with Barbie and Mission Impossible. Okay, cheeky little tie-in. Now you're promoting the movie in a American Ninja Warrior special on TV. Okay, that makes sense. Here's a sewer layer experience. Okay, only in select cities. Preview the Saturday before the theatrical debut. Alright. And now to when I've started writing this review on July 31st, 2023, which was a day for advanced fan screening, in which I got a non-frame poster and an intro to the TMNT comic book, by which the time I didn't need, but that isn't the point why I wrote this. I wrote this because all the above happened for one movie. You could say that they've been over-promoting the hell out of this movie. You could also say I got some turtle mania by the time the first trailer dropped, in which part of that is true. In the time between the first and second Mutant Mayhem trailer dropped, along with the clips and the behind-the-scenes videos of it, I'd already started on the 2012 TMNT Nickelodeon TV series, and some of the Rise of the TMNT series, finished both of those, and started on the 1987 series and some of the comics. Between the TV series, I've discovered that there are many iterations of characters, mood, lore, and tone I like, don't like, and iffy about, especially with the Rise of the TMNT TV series. Despite my feelings and opinions about the iterations, I was cautiously optimistic about Mutant Mayhem before it debuted. Because I didn't want to make the same mistake as I did with The Incredibles 2. Because with Incredibles 2, it had a message from the cast and crew, patting themselves on the back figuratively, confident and proud of their work, and the "please enjoy this movie" coming from Rogen's mouth himself. Yes, Seth Rogen, one of the writers of Mutant Mayhem. And no, I'm not going to go full apeshit on Rogen, because I believe I understand who he and the rest of the cast and crew made this movie for, in which it is a comedy for all ages, teens, tweens, and TMNT fans second, and of course, I'll explain the latter. But first, of course, I've got to go back to Incredibles 2 for a second. Because in that message before the movie, there was a line stating, "This is the right time to do this, and the time is now." Though, I might be paraphrasing. And perhaps for Mutant Mayhem, might have needed more time in the oven. Heck, the latest Spider-Verse movie was, 2 hours? It could have also used more time to explain Donnie a bit. More on that later. But I can say where it succeeded, and it could have had some work done by 4 simple words. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Alright, let's start. Teenage. Got it. They do sound like teenagers, and I'm more than half their age and can sound like a teenager. I don't believe you have to cast a teenager in order to tell that it is a teenager. Heck, in the live-action Sonic movie, they didn't even cast a teenager as the voice of Sonic, yet I could just tell he was a teenager. Fun fact, the voice actor who voiced live-action Sonic voiced Leo in Rise of the TMNT, and the feeling of him being a teen in that series did not change. Next, there are teenage themes like acceptance that was covered in the movie. I'm not going to understand, no, or tell you how to write teenagers nowadays, because it is clear that this was aimed at a younger and current audience. But if I just saved an entire city from a mutant monster and everyone knew who I was as one of the mutant teenagers who saved the day, it could make me very happy, which it looks like Splinter wanted for his boys. Not happy enough to be accepted and occupy a human-filled school. Say what now? I didn't stutter. The turtles go to high school, normal, human-filled high school, at the end of the movie. In broad daylight. Oh boy. Now, ninjas! Now I am going to spoil the end of the movie. Talk about ninja. IMO, if you were a ninja, you wouldn't be occupying a school that has April in it, something that one of the characters cares about because you are putting them at risk just by associating with them. And speaking of ninja, they weren't even trained by a real one. I have zero problem with the origin of their ninjutsu because it is to comedic effect, but if the boys don't learn new skills or new ways of doing things in the planned TV series, Shredder will be handing their shells to them. And that is not the only problem I have with the ending finale of the movie, because it felt a bit rushed, leading back to what I said about earlier about this movie having more time done on it. So, Channel 6 covers the attack in NYC, and April comes in, gets over her anxiety pretty quickly, and then explains that the turtles are the good guys and that they are helping the city, and the general public is supposed to trust the word of mouth of some random teenager who they probably know nothing about, and flip the switch and instantly start helping the turtles and Splinter? April, you have footage of the guys crime fighting. Like heck. Show it to the news. That's even more proof. April even did that in the 1987 series. And just because of that, the turtles then didn't have any shown to the public proving moments to the city and just relying on the word of mouth of April when she already has evidence of them crime fighting. There are movies based in NYC, such as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, that use their movie to show the heroes' public proving moments, so that once the finale hits, there has been enough build to it, and the finale of Battle of Mutant Mayhem is just all of a sudden and doesn't hit as hard as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1. And last but not least, turtles. I'm pretty sure these guys are turtles. Heck, they don't even have nipples. And speaking of nipples, now we're going to talk about what the movie does right, in my opinion. Because from the many behind-the-scenes hype up to the movie, in the advanced screening, it does seem like the cast and crew had a good and fun time with the movie, to how Ralph's line, "But we don't even have nipples," to how each of the turtles cast played off, and had dynamics with each other. And speaking of behind the scenes, we are now going to go nitpicky on the designs of the movie. And since this is an obvious reiteration of the TMNT, with the set, lighting, and characters of the movie, I wasn't a fan of all the designs. But let's start on the character design. Firstly, the brothers. Leo I didn't have a problem with. Mikey's head I wasn't too much a fan of, but it did grow on me. And Donnie, oh my god, is such a frackin' cutie pie. And it's not just the roundness of the face, it's those damn eyes. There's so much wonder, roundness, cuteness, and shock behind those eyes, like, dear God, A+. Raphael I wasn't too much of a fan of, since he sort of looked bloated, depending on the angle, instead of the muscle, compared to some muscle we see on Leo, and the rest of the character designs I was fine with. Also, the set and lighting design were a whole nother beast in the movie, and really set the mood of the movie in every shot, not to mention that looked very pretty in the Dolby Picture presentation I saw. And speaking of characters, all four brothers had their own moments to shine individually and as a team. Leo with leadership, Raph with muscle, Mikey with his vibes, and Donnie with his lack of machines. Sure, it does seem like he understands the laws of physics, especially in the grocery store heist, and his smooth way out of a few tense situations, but he generally came off as a techie, gamer, and anime manga nerd. Hopefully the upcoming TV series will explore maybe hacking, technology, and maybe more scientific exploration with him, which was hinted at in the mid-credits scene, but still not the usual Donnie that I've seen in comics and some TV iterations. While the four brothers had their moments to shine individually and as a team, this unfortunately, to the possible detriment of some fans, is a Leo-focused film from how he turns around the team to his approach to April, which not all, including me, are a fan of. In the first scenes with April airdropped Dawn her number, not Leo. Despite the movie going on with Leo going after April, it might have been funnier if Donnie and Leo were competing for April's affection and or attention throughout the movie, since Donnie got her number first. Though it'd be preferable to me to not ship set up the turtles with April. It doesn't make sense, since she only seems to mainly care about getting a good juicy story, which the turtles are, and the other April Tell ship I know about from the 2012 series is very one-sided, and the Leo-April setup and Mutant Mayhem is. She only makes sense to me as an extended family member. If you want to ship the turtles with someone, either it be a vigilante, another mutant, or even better, another ninja. A vigilante is because that's what they are, and vigilantes are all about sticking to the shadows or out of harm's way with a secret identity and not putting loved ones in danger. Another mutant because they are another mutant, and they would relate to the struggles of being another mutant in NYC. And another ninja because they are, you guessed it, another ninja. However, if it was another ninja and they have weapons, they may or may not be against killing people, and since this movie is owned by Nickelodeon, a kids-based network, I don't see that happening. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is an alright standalone, comedic, tween and teen-themed film that has unusual pacing, character, narrative, and design issues that may or may not please TMNT fans. As a standalone comedic tween teen movie with themes of acceptance, it is a very funny and good film, in my opinion. But as someone who is just getting into the TMNT, I can't recommend this as an intro because the first 1987 series is for free on YouTube. While the 1987 series is old, it has charm, and even with this Mutant Mayhem Dawn not being that into machines, at least in the 1987 series I've seen, they at least explain Dawn and his references, inventions, and discoveries. For a fan of comedic tween/teen theme movies, this is a good movie. For a TMNT fan who might or might not be particular with their preferred iterations, I'm sorry, I can't recommend this. I've been rather subjective in my opinion of what my preferred interpretation of the TMNT in terms of this movie and what they did with it. While this doesn't check off all the boxes and leaves a lot of things up to speculation, especially with Donnie, I do have to knock off points in my rating of the movie, unfortunately, but I also have to remember, again, that I need to rate this as a filmgoer as well. I'm rating Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem with a score of a 70 out of 100. And yeah, boo! You thought this movie review is over. In this review, I've been subjective in my thoughts of seeing this movie as a filmgoer and people/fans into TMNT. For what the mid-credits scene has set up for the series and the sequel, I can only hope it could bring the TMNT back to my preferred In the Shadows. The filmmakers and cast, in my opinion, brought together a very comedic, tween, and teenage-themed pretty and alive-looking world for the TMNT to occupy and live in, and as of writing this review, a lot of people like the narrative and design choices in the movie. Some people don't. There are many people who prefer the comics, the 1987, 2003, 2012, the infamous rise of the TMNT, the other movies, or a mix of all the above. People care about and discuss these iterations, and when it comes down to it, everyone has an opinion. And this is my opinion. Love it, hate it, disagree with it, etc. I'm not fully hating on this movie. And I can only hope that the upcoming TV series and the next movie turns the formula, because I honestly thought this could have been the Spider-Verse to the TMNT, but it fell a little short. But just like I had problems with the first live-action Sonic movie, they've got the chance to turn it around in the TV series, and the next movie, around for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which they did for the second live-action Sonic movie, in which both live-action Sonic and Mutant Mayhem are the same length anyways. So if you don't agree with all of this review, or none at all, give Mutant Mayhem a chance, because who knows? I don't know the future. It could turn out to be TMNT's next Spider-Verse. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to check out my recommended video or playlist in my most recent video here. If you want to support my channel, links to my Patreon, Coffee, and or Streamlabs are in the description below. And if it comes down to it, you can always subscribe.